My dad is a stickler for police and going the speed limit and all this. And sure enough, I look in the rearview mirror and what do I see? There's a cop behind me. And so he pulls me over and he comes up to the window and he starts with this, well, you have a dealer tag and I can't run that. But he goes, if I'm honest with you, I'm just kind of curious about the car. The original car was out in Texas I went for. I went for a red SC with a tan interior and a whale tail and everything, and got out there. The car was kind of not as advertised, but the shop that advertised it had a bunch of Porsches sitting under covers, and I started poking around just to see what they had, just being curious, and I found this one. It was underneath a tarp. It was covered in grime, it was covered in dust, and I asked the guy what he wanted for it, and we didn't agree at first, but we kind of came together because the car had 250,000 miles on it. It really wasn't in the perfect condition. It really, it needed a little bit of work. It needed some top end work. It needed a paint correction, but we agreed on a price, got it. Dad and I drove it all the way back from Texas, all the way to Atlanta, and I probably put a couple $1,000s in it, getting it back up to what it needed to really be on the street, and then it was all history from there. Driving it now it's a little different, but getting in it, you're still getting in a Porsche, you're still getting in that car that you drove as a street car every day, but you sit a little higher, it's a little more nimble on the steering wheel, and I think it feels a little lighter. I think it drives a little better. It definitely feels more comfortable. It definitely feels, it's different. It's not as low as a road car would be. You don't feel every bump in the road. You don't feel every nick and every bump that you could possibly go over, especially when you drive in places like Atlanta where the roads are just complete crap. It rolls over things, it goes quickly, and it just really is a beautiful thing to drive. And I don't feel like it's down on power. That was kind of something I was worried about, was maybe I wouldn't have as much power as we were used to, or maybe it was gonna roll a little bit harder, being that it's still factory suspension, or it was just things were gonna feel different, but they really don't. It's comfortable to drive, it's still very quick, it's still very nimble, and I think it's a little better. The truth about what really inspired it, I would say, is we were either seniors in high school or we were freshmen in college, and all of us piled into the thing and rode down to Savannah for a European experience. As we're going across the Savannah Bridge, kind of in its iconic fashion, and just flying up on our left comes this full-bore Rally 911. And it was white, it had these orange bumpers on it, had this black hood, and had all the crazy lights, just everything you could want in a 911 that you could take off-road. And sure enough, we found out later on down the road that was Jim Goodlett. And he was nice enough to take some time with me back in February when we did this event down at Brother Moto, and talked me through the setup and the build and kind of what you can do. And it was neat because we had the Keen cars were there too, so you kind of got to see how they did it and how the groups meshed, and just really pleasant people. Jim and Lee definitely were a big inspiration behind the car, and they certainly have been nice enough to share some secrets and some stuff about how you set it up and how you can enjoy it and go out and play. My favorite part about driving it probably relates less to driving it than you'd actually think. My favorite part about driving it is taking it out, getting it completely muddy, and just getting slideways around all these corners, and then meeting up with someone at a gas station that has no idea who you are and you have no idea who they are, but you become friends because they've seen your car and they go, man, that's really cool. I really want to know more about it. So it really is more the aspect of where it takes you and how you get there and the people you'll meet, because driving it is fun, but it's the entity that brings us all together.